My name is Megan Ross and I'm studying a Bachelor of Psychology at Monash University. I was on the VCE Honour Roll of Psychology, and today we're going to be going through the different methods of retrieval. So we're going to be talking about recall, recognition and relearning. So first let's start off with recall. So this is considered the least sensitive method of retention. So when we talk about sensitivity of a measure, we are referring to its ability to assess the existence of information in memory and which therefore is able to be retrieved. So just because you can't recall the information doesn't mean it isn't in your long-term memory. It might just mean that it is not immediately accessible, and if you used a different method, you may be able to retrieve it. So recall is defined as being able to reproduce information which is stored in memory. So we have free recall, which is reproducing information in no particular order and with no prompts. So think about if you sat there with a white piece of paper and you wrote down everything you knew about memory. So you wouldn't have to write down in any particular order and you would have no prompts to help you. So next we have serial recall. So this is reproducing information in the order it was learnt. So think about when you have a recipe, being able to reproduce those steps in the order that you should. So that would be serial recall. And also being able to state a list in the order that you learnt it would also be serial recall. Last, we have cued recall. So the use of specific prompts to aid in retrieval and reproduction of memory. So think about when you have someone in your class and you can't think of their name off the top of your head. But maybe if you see a photo of them, you can recall their name. So that'd be cued recall because you were given a cue to be able to recite that information. Next, we have recognition. So this is more sensitive than recall, but less sensitive than relearning. So recognition is identifying the original information learnt. So the presence of the correct information acts as a cue for the retrieval of the memory. Now, a perfect example of this is multiple choice. So being able to pick out which is the right information. So which answer is correct would be the cue, which would then trigger the memory and go, yep, I know that is the correct answer. Think about also a lineup. When someone commits a crime, they give them a lineup of suspects. Being able to look at the person and be like, that's them, would also be recognition because they're recognizing something. Finally, we're going to look at relearning. So this is considered the most sensitive method of retention. So relearning is learning the information again, which has previously been learnt. So if the information has been learnt faster, that means some of the information has been retained from the first time it was learnt. So this is also known as methods of savings. So we have an equation for working out how much time has been saved. So time for learning minus time of relearning divided by time for learning times by 100. So let's quickly work through this. So let's say the first time we learnt it, it took 5 minutes. And the second time we learnt it took 4 minutes. So this part of the equation, so 5 minus 4 is 1. Divide this the time it took us to originally learn it, so 5. So 1 over 5 and then multiply it by 100, which is 20%. So therefore we have saved 20% of our time.